Good morning, everyone, and very much welcome to another Flash Friday. We're very much looking forward to take you through everything that's going on behind the news in fintech. And of course, as always, I'm doing that with a very distinguished guest, and today that's Michiel Stokman from Bots. Good morning, Michiel.
Hi Don, good morning.
Great to have you here. I'm really looking forward to dive in. I'm a big fan of bots, and I think you're doing great work in the crypto space and investment space with your app and investment solution. So we're definitely going to dive into that and hope to educate everyone a little bit about what you do with bots. And of course, we'll also touch, since you're in the crypto space, a bit on what's going on but in the environment around you. Crypto remains a hot topic with new regulation from Europe coming up, still discussions about money laundering, and of course also in the current sanctions environment with Russia, lots of things that are going on at the moment. So for
Yes,
all our listeners,
absolutely.
please feel free to jump into the comments field if you have any questions that you think we should be answering. We're very much looking forward to dive in right away. So, Michiel, tell me a little bit about bots, right? So, for people that don't know it, can you describe a bit what bots is up to?
Yes, first let me just show the app. This is my what I currently hold, and what you see is difficult with. Yeah, now it's working, I guess. What
Yeah,
you
I
see
can
is
see
a
it.
list of bots, and what we did with three guys, me and Stefan and Colin, we were traders in stocks, but also and entrepreneurs mostly, I think, most for all, and engineers. And we were trading with stocks, but also 5 years ago with cryptos, of course, because it was the new thing, and we want to sort it out and see what it was. And at some point, I was really standing at the shower, and I was coming up with this algorithm how to automate my strategies. And I asked Stefan, who just got back. He's a white hat hacker. He started coding when he was 8. So I thought, well, hi Stefan, can you make this for me? And then Colin improved the algorithm. And so we put it on an Amazon server and attached it to, I think it was, well, I'm not sure anymore. I think it was Binance, and I see how it happened, and it did absolutely nothing. So it stayed zero, didn't outperform at all. And so we started looking for other strategies, so we could become rich by doing nothing, right? And so what it evolved in was this idea of a platform. And there are very funny things going on in the world, and that is that the computer power is amazing right now, and the guys and girls knowing about AI, big data, and quantitative analysis is amazing worldwide.
Yeah.
So there's this field where you can just make a platform instead of, for example, make music and share music, or share video like YouTube, or share information like Wikipedia. You can share your knowledge and your skills on trading. So we went out and built a platform. A platform turned out to be very, very expensive and complex, because we sort of made this C++, very complex, low latency trading engine, because otherwise you lose the money.
Yeah.
So you need to be very fast. And what it turns out is that we've got now somewhere near 150 active clients, 1 million downloads, live almost a bit over 1.5 years. I think it's 18 months, 19 months live now. Grow last year 5,000%. 130 employees worldwide. We've got more than 30 nationalities. And we're moving on to this Web3 world on the one hand, which is really, really complex, really hard to understand, but everybody is moving towards there, even banks, nationalities, Facebook, or whatever they call them nowadays.
Yeah.
And everybody's moving there, and we want to be a bridge between this amazing new world.
Yeah.
And we put it in an app which everybody can understand. And I always think of the app when I make it or improve it. Can my mom understands it? and she of course doesn't have any knowledge of this, but I have to always think, can she understand it? However, I do have to say we're probably going to differentiate to a pro and an easy part, because it's.
I can imagine that there's always exactly one more, right?
Yeah.
But so maybe to just talk a little bit about the user experience, right? So people actually would go on your app, and then they actually got the ability to, basically as a sort of consumer perspective, they would just be able to choose different investment perspectives on the crypto market, right? So they could actually say, I like what this bot is describing, what kind of thought is behind the algorithm. I believe that, so I'll put my money on this bot to make an investment on behalf of me.
Yeah.
And I'll trust that basically helps me gain from my investment.
Yes, and the strategies are the actual what it actually is doing. So let's say that the IP, the intellectual property, we keep that as a secret, but everything else you can see. The performance, the philosophy of the trading, how much it outperforms the benchmarks, you can see that one as well overall. But we move a bit beyond that, because we started with pure trading, and while we were developing, the market for staking opened up, market for fixed income opened up. We found ways to attach real estate to the blockchain, and so we improve on that as well. So you could encounter a bot that is trading like we originally intended to do, but you can also choose a bot that just gives you a fixed income of, for example, 5 or 6 or 7%, which you can put your savings on. And what it does, it invests in real estate, for example. We're even going to introduce, I think it's next month, a blockchain version of Dutch real estate. I think that's a real nice feature, and that's one thing I like to point out, maybe as a trend, is that how can we put real intrinsic value into the crypto and blockchain world.
I think that's because I was also going to ask that indeed, is that I think in general you work with a whole range of cryptocurrencies and blockchain solutions, and of course there are still also some cowboys out there with new projects that are just harder to assess, or with in any case underlying risks that are hard to assess. What do you do to sort of screen projects or things you want to work with?
Yeah, we do a lot of screening. The bots are fiercely screened, but also projects are screened. We are an end-to-end consumer product, so we are not an experimental app. So we do try a lot of things, but before it will hit the app, we're not on that part. That is all the internal for the guys that really want to experience the new stuff on crypto. We are not for that. We are for the proven technologies that really work. The big liquidity pools, the big DeFi exchanges, the big central exchanges. Sometimes I say we're a licensee gathering organization, so we want to be as legit. We're just a consumer product, and we do everything to gain trust and returns and minimize risk. Yeah, that's what it's about.
And so is it also, because I'm also curious about your total ambition then, right? So if you see that you're expanding your investment suite, what do you have in mind? What would you like to be basically in 5 years from now? Why would customers come to you?
Yeah, we've just begun. So we are now at 150 active clients, more or less. I don't know the actual numbers. I think it's at current a bit less than that. We're going to onboard 1 billion people in the app. One of the things we do is crypto is still volatile business. Well, if you look at Bitcoin the last 5 months, it's not volatile, but not really. At least not as volatile as oil. But I think markets will always be volatile at some point. But we want to integrate the investing, all kinds of investing for everybody in the world. One of the things that made made our mission is the realization that investing is a Western game. I could even say in popular words, it's a white, male, privileged Western game. That's what it basically is for 99%. So if you're living in Argentina, you're living in Mozambique, Kenya, you're just not allowed, you don't have access to stock markets. And that means a lot because you're not to build up an income for like a pension. You don't have an income stream with professional people, and we want to change that. We want to build that second income stream. So you're going to save money in a smart way to send your kids to college or to have a pension at some point. And actually, only the Western people have access to it.
Okay, but I think was quite a strong ambition to go for 1 billion users, right? So it's really nice that you're aiming for that.
Yeah.
And I think also it's nice already that you formulate that instead of wanting to be worth $1 billion, for example, which also quite some other entrepreneurs would put on their mark, perhaps later on. And so, but it means that you're looking into becoming a sort of wealth management suite in general, right? Or are you also to keep things really simple for people that are less financial?
Yeah, we need to keep the things simple, and I think we going to automate a lot of stuff and then inform and ask for decisions instead of asking people to do everything themselves more and more and more. But the explanation and the choosing, so the responsibility needs to be still at the investor in him or herself. So education is a huge part of our mission, and making it very, very simple is a huge part. But also keeping costs down. Keeping costs down of the products, because I think a lot of markets have become very expensive, and that's one of the reasons why people with just a tiny amount of money can't invest. So one of the reasons why non-Western people can invest is that the threshold, it's just one. There are many burdens, but the threshold is just too high. So the poor stay poor.
Yeah, no, and that's definitely a shame. And I think definitely technology can solve that to a large extent. And do you think that that's something that particularly crypto is really helpful for? So is that what's keeping you in this domain actually, because it allows you to do things also cheaper and more efficient than in traditional markets?
Yes, it's faster, it's cheaper, and in many ways, I think it's safer on the long term. I think that's one of the reasons why central banks are going to want to adopt the blockchain and the digital way of working. So the decentralized way of working is safer than centralized. So yes, it's safer, faster, and it attracts the smart people in the world right now. So we can develop better stuff.
Yeah, cool. Really nice.
Well, for example, Don, everybody is always looking for the smartest people, and there is this enormous shortage of tech people. We don't face that problem. We always have enough. The best people we don't have this shortage in our company.
But that's really nice, I think, as well as also because you open up your platform for people to create algorithms, right? So in that sense, it's really crowdsourcing. Anyone with a good idea could create their own algorithms to invest.
Yeah. Everybody can just quit their job at Stanley Morgan or Goldman Sachs and work for us as a quant or a crypto trader. And that's true. Yeah.
Nice. So thanks. By the way, I'm seeing some comments coming in. Apologies for the echo. I'm not sure exactly how we can get rid of that, but I hope the story is still well understandable. At least I'm only the one that's echoing, I believe, if I look at the comments, so that's not so important. And so one of the questions is what kind of security transactions are you offering? So if you, I'll leave that to you.
Well, that's a difficult question to answer in this time scale we have, I think. Well, let's say we are fully ISO certified according to security. We have this team who constantly audited ourselves, and we have an external audit team. We pay hackers to test us. And I think we come from a background where we really, really, really like security. For so far, but so far we've proven to be very, very secure. But that doesn't count, right? So we have to always 24/7 be aware of all the possible things that can go wrong. And I do also have to say, at certain stages, when we developed and pushed out new products, we knew the security risk was there. And there was, for example, internal security risk that people can do stuff, employees can do stuff that if they know, they can cause quite a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So we're not we make mistakes as anybody else. But we have this high awareness, and I think that's the most important part.
All right. Thanks. Just one question. Could you try perhaps turn off your speakers, or is there a way to tune your?
Yeah, I already did actually.
Okay. We'll just see if there's something we can do. What I'm curious about as well, what you're talking about, especially if you also talk about security, we often also talk about regulations, right? So you're a regulated entity. We now got a new MiCAR coming up. So what do you think about the new regulation, and does it have an impact for you?
Well, not on security. I think MiCAR regulation or on the long term. I hope is echo now less. I changed some stuff. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can't hear it anymore, so it seems like it's gone.
Okay. One of the things that happens is that the government asks a lot of companies to do AML checks. So accordingly, our personal data is stored in an endless amount of databases. Not all these databases have professional infrastructure. So what we basically are creating is we create, this is going to. I think I heard someone saying that on the black markets, the price of passports, of identities, is dropping fast. So it's really, really, really easy to get identities right now. It's not expensive anymore. And I don't know anything about current prices. I don't know how to access these markets. I'm CEO.
That does suggest that it's widely available, right?
It's widely available,
yeah,
and that is caused by too fast regulatory, depending on companies who just don't have the money to and the time to really, really securitize it, including the government, of course. I think one of the most the breaches that occur are in governments. They just leave documents and information out in the open, and the trend is not turned. The trend is not turned into rationalization of this problem. We still say every time, over and over again, we need to AML a citizen we already know by birth.
Yeah.
So I'm 48 years old. When I was born, my mom went to the local government, and I got a passport at some point. I've got we already in the Dutch government knows me. The Dutch government knows Don, right?
But they still want copies and copies and copies of information in all kinds of different entities. Yeah.
This is a real danger, and the problem is that it's not addressed. Even yesterday on Twitter, I saw Paul Tang. Paul Tang is a local politician in the European Commission. He's bashing the best lawyers in this field who are addressing this problem, and they don't get this obvious problem.
Yeah.
And
I think that it has a lot to do with our understanding of.
I like regulatory, but I don't like real dangerous regulatory. So my suggestion is always to DNB and other regulatories, please make it smart so that I'm becoming a danger for my clients on the long term if I follow your rulings, and not me, but everybody. So please rationalize and engineer for once instead of making regulations.
But I think that has a lot to do with our kind of poor understanding of data, I think in general, I feel. Because we always talk about data sharing, which is completely the wrong discussion, right? It's about data validation, and the data itself should not go anywhere. So you might want to do a check with an entity that actually has validated your identity, but you should not get all the information from that identity.
And I think governmental, you should then, as an engineer, you say, okay, let's make one central point, which is highly secured, give you a number, so you have this hub, which is very, very efficient. But then we know that government will use it for other stuff. They will change rules. So a lot of engineers and a lot of tech people, crypto people, they're reluctant because the government cannot be trusted with those data. They will use it for other stuff, which of course is proven every now and months. But in the Netherlands we have this thing with the children subsidy, and so the government really is not behaving.
But at the same time, they already have the information, right? So it's at the moment, it's just like it's both the government and all kinds of private organizations store the same information.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure. So I can imagine that indeed you might not want to go to one central database, but actually might have, a couple of places where you could go to for certain information validation. But indeed, it should not be everywhere.
I can easily think that I can say on behalf of all crypto entrepreneurs and also all fintech entrepreneurs that I know is that we do want regulation because it makes the field more professional. But we do have to address the problems, and they are big. Yep.
Yeah, I think I fully agree there, and I think it's also. I mean, you have a strong ambition to reach a lot of people. Also, you can do that with low cost, but this is not helping, right? On the low cost side.
Now, what you see, it's sort of it's propelling innovations. So it always has its upsides as well. For example, these decentralized autonomous organizations. You see the rise of parallel communities, and they basically start their own village in financial terms. So they go out of their normal government communities as we know them, and they go to this sort of agile democracy communities, which is probably in some ways closer to the idea of democracy than to centralize everything. So I see the danger in that as well. If everything is decentralized, there are a lot of crooks. So you want to have control, but there should be a fair balance, and I think the government can play a key role in that.
Yeah, no, I think for sure, and I think it all starts with education, right? Because I think there's still a lot of misunderstanding, and therefore maybe also fear for what's going on in the field of technology. While we should somehow find a way to embrace it.
Yeah, I see a lot of assumptions at regulatories.
And so, from let's say from a crypto market perspective, what else do you think is one of the challenges that we should be looking at to solve in the market? Is it indeed on the regulatory side, especially, or you said that talent is not really an issue. I'm not sure if that goes for everyone. What else do you see?
For us, we want to develop towards. We're looking for investments that we can invest in that our clients want, and what I see is that our clients want, of course, they want have low risk, high return, but also there's a high demand of value investing, real value investing. I was talking to yesterday. There's this project, and they were discussing. They are full bio sustainable organized. So there's a company in Kenya, and they are they're doing amazing stuff. So their soil, for example, their soil is not just dust like in the Netherlands, in many places, but their soil is full of life, and it's very rich, and they live according to nature principles. And I think that there are a lot of clients of us that want to invest in profitable, well-organized initiatives like that. So that's basically to save the earth, equality, things like that. And we always look for projects like that. And they turn up now because of blockchain, people have more power, decentralized power to do so, even in Kenya or Mozambique. So that's
and
great.
do you feel that
really great.
is it doable to cross boundaries that easy from an investment perspective, but also I think for your own organization to basically be active in more markets? Is that going well enough in your perspective?
You need to have crypto community for it. You need to have a blockchain. You need to build a blockchain community. Otherwise, for them, it's impossible to attract the normal fintech investor. You don't know how to pitch. You don't have the network. It's impossible for them to pitch. They're just farmers with a very good idea. So I think in that perspective, blockchain and the community is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's really nice. And do you also see like a partnership strategy there? Because I can imagine that, for example, assessing farming projects is not your core capability, right? You're looking at the investment side especially. So is that something that you would need either rely on a community or work with partners locally?
Yeah, we work with partners, but we can teach them a lot on how to make, design blockchain protocols.
Yeah.
So we can help that, and they know how to do their part, the farmer part. So in that respect, we cannot help them, but we can help them with teaching them how you build a community, how you organize, how you make a smart contract, and how to make it secure, how to securitize it, and so we surely want to help them. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's really nice, and I think that's also. I see another question popping up about where your company stands in 10 years, right? I think we believe you touched upon that already on your billion user ambition, which I think is quite a nice one. But maybe just nice to describe briefly sort of what you envision then, how people use it on a daily basis, basically.
Well, I don't want to be a TikTok that hooks you. I want to be your top 10 or top 20. Top 20, top 30 app you open. So you open the app maybe once a day or maybe once a week. I want to give this really nice information. There is, of course, a suggestion algorithm that knows you and helps you with finding the best investments. And in that way, I hope what you invest in really suits your values and your long-term goals. That would be then I reach my goal.
And would you also want to basically see if that would be fit for people to have a pension basically based on your platform? Because I can imagine that also comes pretty close once you start looking at more long-term perspectives.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. And then long-term, most of our clients are pretty long-term investors. Yes, I think if building a pension for everybody, for that 1 billion people, would be a great thing to achieve, because it's never done in history before. So let's try this, see if we can pull it off.
Yeah, nice ambition, for sure. Just curious about as well. I think one of the challenges now that we're seeing face in the crypto community as well is the sort of the whole sanctions regulation towards Russia. Is that keeping you busy at the moment, or is it easy to stay out of that domain? And are you not involved there?
No, we checked our clients.
Yep.
And we weren't allowed to do it. We were full. We have the AML in place. We checked it over again. Sometimes it's difficult because all the ARCs can hide in other entities.
Yep.
but we checked the entities we have and personal accounts, and I think we're 100% free of Russian influence, and so that's what we did, and from our part.
Yeah. Okay. No, well done. I think it's I see in Vegas, for example, Singapore last week was cracking down on crypto companies for potentially still being open for Russian business, right? So I think it's indeed quite important that everyone does let's say, even though the sanctions are sometimes pretty hard to execute, that everyone puts their shoulders behind it to really support them.
Yeah, I think in if you look at the huge market, and we also attach it, we give in a few weeks, or maybe a bit longer, but in a few weeks we give everybody their own direct crypto wallet, and in theory you could then transfer money to everywhere, because the crypto to crypto is not regulated. But we have this US company who attaches the AML part to crypto, still gaining access to tenfold of DeFi and exchanges. So we have this combination of freedom and still some say AML to get the crux out of the system.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
Yeah. So we are hopeful, and that's again, it's very important to not subsidize these guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, Michiel, I think we're basically running out of time. I see we're already across the half hour. So, but I think it's really interesting. I think we could keep on going for another hour easily. Any last words from you before we kick it off?
Yes, if you want to start us, try us. Wait a few days. Start us now, of course. But start with us now. Just try us. You can start from 50, and within a few weeks you can start from 10. And we're even going to introduce a freemium. So if you're lost all your money due to high inflation, within a few weeks we do a small gift of €10. Well, it's of course in cryptos. We give you in crypto, so it's probably would be some 10 USDT, 11 USDT or something, just to try the app. And if you like it, you can invest a bit more in that.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you, Michiel. Thank you for sharing your ambition and thoughts about developments in the market. I hope everyone who listened in that they liked the story. Please indeed try Bots by Revenue as a really nice. It's definitely a very interesting investment platform. It's not like you've ever seen before, so you should definitely have a look at it. Thank you very much, Michiel, for sharing, and thank you everyone for tuning in. For now, I wish you all a very great Friday, and I hope to see you all perhaps this afternoon at the Holland FinTech meetup, which is both in person as well as online. And looking forward to see you, of course, wish you a very good weekend. One question by Mario, where people can find it. I think you can find you in the App Store of, in any case, the Apple, I know, also on Android. Michiel?
Yes, Apple, Android. Just for, I think, Bots Investing or Bots app. And the website is bots.io.
Bots.io. All right. Thanks, Michiel. Thanks for joining. And thanks, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers.